Acquiring employment, post-interview suggestions. These are things that you would do after the interview to now stand out and remain relevant to the people that are considering you for the position. Now, as I give these suggestions, these are things that may spawn other ideas that you have as to how you could actually leverage these or other techniques. But let me just give you a few suggestions. First of all, the next steps would be setting up your expectations and timelines. So really, before you left, you should have asked, what's the next step in the interviewing process? When should I hear from you? What is the next step going to be if I were to be considered? And with that, then following up to say, if after that time frame you haven't heard, where are we with things? And that's just simply a way of not getting your hopes up and becoming anxious if you haven't heard from them in your timeline. If they said we're next week planning to get back with the candidates that we're considering and doing a second interview, then this week you're not frantically waiting. I haven't heard from them. What do I do? So the next steps would then be reaching out in the time frame that they shared to, if they said next week we're planning on making a decision as to of the candidates we've spoken to, whom we'd like to have come back for a second interview, it's towards the end of this week that you want to send out a thank you email or a thank you card that you put in the mail a few days ago that arrives now at this point. These types of gestures are on your part the things that they may not have expected, where you have a chance to maybe give a little nudge or a little thought in your behalf, telling the people, hey, I enjoyed our interview. It was nice meeting everyone. I appreciated the questions you asked. I'm very interested in the position, and I'd like to be considered for that second step. So this is after the interview, you reaching out and extending to them these interests on your part in a way that makes sense. Emails, letters. But I want to take this an extra step, go the extra mile with this. I have personally, with the interviews that I've been conducting for the last number of years as vice president of some of the departments at our company, now president of the company, I've experienced excellent implementations of this where, having told somebody that I expect that we'll be making a decision later this week, all of a sudden on the in the mail or at the front desk, we get a box of donuts or we get a thing of flowers or something that stands out from the individual stating, hey, thanks for the consideration, looking forward to working there. Feel free to share these with the other people in the office. And one time we had specialty donuts come in by someone that they sent these for the office to have. All of these things are really helping you stand out. They show that you're genuinely interested in the position. It's not just a job and you're hoping of one or many that you're applying for to maybe get. No, it's showing that this is, of the jobs that you want, the one that you're most interested in, and you're putting forth that energy and effort to go the extra mile and say, I'm willing to do what it takes to get this position. So I encourage you to, at the end of the interview, find out what kind of timeline they're looking at in making the decision towards that next step, and in doing so, timing you're reaching out with your email or a card, a thank you note, maybe dropping off something as a specialty gift, something that will then arrive in a timely way to complement that decision process to keep you at the top of the list and be that person to be considered for the position. The whole goal here is to stand out above the crowd. Hopefully you did it with those interviewing tips that I had offered. Now the interview's done. It's a few days removed. How do you stay top of mind? How do you stay that one to be considered? How do you demonstrate that you are, in fact, of all the people being considered, really interested in this particular position? These are the things that you can do to really stand out from the crowd and be the one that they can consider as the standard that everyone else is being evaluated against, and more importantly, be the one that they're willing to really consider as filling that position and being offered the position. So with that in mind, just remember this: you are the one for that position. You are the one that can get that role, and most importantly, there is a position for you. Why? Because accounting success is universal. Take care.